Can you still trust your body? If it's been whispering for help while you've been calling it just aging? I couldn't, not until I nearly collapsed, for no reason at all. I'm 76, and I didn't see the signs that slowly stole my strength, my joy, and my independence. But maybe you can, because your body might still be whispering. Thank you for watching. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. These small actions help us grow, reach others, and build a quiet community of awareness. And if you've done even one of them, thank you for supporting this journey. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1: Sudden Fatigue That Never Goes Away. It started as harmless afternoon tiredness. I thought naps were just a natural part of aging. But this fatigue was different. It didn't feel like normal tiredness. It was heavier, lingering, a quiet weight that followed me even after rest. Eventually, my doctor mentioned the word hypothyroidism. Blood tests confirmed it. My thyroid gland wasn't producing enough hormones to support metabolism and energy. The thyroid plays a crucial role in managing energy, temperature, and cognitive clarity, and it naturally slows with age. For me, that slowdown felt like a mental fog in a body that moved through molasses. What shocked me was how common this is and how often it's misdiagnosed or ignored. I learned that fatigue like this isn't something to brush off with "I'm just getting older." It's a signal, a whisper from your system saying, check deeper. With the right support, small medication adjustments, diet changes, even mild activity, I began to regain energy I hadn't felt in years. Not all at once, but gently, quietly. My mind felt clearer, my body lighter, my spirit steadier. So if you felt a tiredness that doesn't go away, don't ignore it. It might be something your body can fix if you only start listening. Chapter 2: Frequent Imbalance and Dizziness. The imbalance came quietly. At first, I blamed it on getting up too fast. A wobble here, a lightheaded step there. But the day I stumbled in my kitchen and had to grab the counter, I knew something was off. Our sense of balance isn't just in our feet or legs. It lives in our inner ear, our brainstem, and our nervous system. With age, those systems lose sensitivity. Tiny sensors in the ear degrade. Nerve signals slow. Reaction time stretches. What shocked me most was how fast one bad step could change everything. A fall isn't just a bruise. For many of us over 70, it's a fracture, a hospital visit, even a loss of independence. And yet, no one warns you how quickly confidence fades after one stumble. I found out balance can be trained. Tai Chi, yoga, and simple leg strength exercises rebuilt my coordination. It didn't take hours at the gym, just consistent movement, mindful practice. I also learned that dizziness can come from medications or low blood pressure. So I brought my list of meds to my pharmacist. Some were quietly working against me. Balance is more than not falling. It's freedom, the ability to trust your next step. If you're wobbling more or reaching for support, don't wait for a fall. Start training now. And if this part of my story feels familiar, please take it as your sign. If you've made it this far, thank you. Your presence here means more than you know. If you found something valuable in these words, consider liking, commenting, or subscribing. Not just for us, but for someone else, who might quietly need this too. Chapter 3: Unexplained Muscle Loss. I used to think muscle loss was something that happened to other people who stopped moving. But I was wrong. I was still going for walks, still carrying groceries, yet slowly. My arms and legs started to look thinner, softer, like they didn't belong to me anymore. Sarcopenia is what they call it. Age-related muscle loss, and it doesn't wait until you're frail. It begins quietly in your 40s, accelerates in your 60s, and by your 70s, it's noticeable, even dangerous. What they don't tell you is how much this loss affects more than just appearance. Muscles stabilize our joints. They protect our bones. They power our lungs and our hearts. They keep us upright when we trip, help us rise from a chair, lift our grandkids. And when they shrink, so does our confidence. I remember the day I tried to open a stubborn jar lid and couldn't. It wasn't just the lid that cracked, it was my pride. But here's what gave me hope. Muscle responds to resistance. Even at 76. It doesn't matter if you've never been to a gym in your life. Light weights, body weight movements, resistance bands, they all stimulate growth. They tell your body, we're still using this. I also added more protein to my diet. Not shakes or supplements, just mindful portions with every meal. Eggs, legumes, fish. It wasn't drastic, but it was intentional. Within weeks, I noticed the difference. The jar lids came off easier. The stairs felt less steep. And my posture softer for years felt a little taller again. Losing strength isn't inevitable. Ignoring it is. If you've noticed your clothes hanging looser or you tire after simple tasks, your muscles might be asking for attention. Answer them. They're still listening. Chapter 4: Changes in Digestion and Appetite. It started with smaller portions, then slower digestion. Then meals that used to comfort me started feeling heavy, unsettling. I blamed it on age. Maybe my stomach was just slowing down. But the discomfort grew louder, and it wasn't just fullness. It was bloating, acid, even nausea on quiet days. I learned that digestion changes as we age, but not always in ways we expect. The stomach produces less acid, which means food takes longer to break down. That delay causes gas, heartburn, even nutrient malabsorption. Our digestive tract gets less efficient, not broken, just different. One surprising culprit was the change in gut bacteria, what they call the microbiome. These tiny organisms help digest food, regulate inflammation, and support immune health. And as we age, the balance shifts. Good bacteria decline. Inflammation rises. I realize that what I eat and how I eat matters more now than ever. Fiber-rich foods like oats, beans, fruits, more water. Fewer fried or processed. Meals. Slowing down during meals help too. I added probiotics to my routine, not just supplements, but foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut. It wasn't a miracle cure. But slowly, digestion got easier. Meals became enjoyable again, not a source of discomfort. What I thought was just aging turned out to be my gut asking for help. It was never too late to listen. And when I did, my whole body responded with quiet relief. If you've made it this far, thank you. Your presence here means more than you know. If you found something valuable in these words, consider liking, commenting, or subscribing. Not just for us, but for someone else, who might quietly need this too. Chapter 5: Emotional Numbness and Isolation. At first, I thought I was just becoming more introverted. I didn't mind the quiet. I told myself solitude was peace. But over time, the silence started feeling heavier. Days passed without meaningful conversations. And eventually, I realized I wasn't choosing to be alone. I had just slowly disappeared from others' lives. Emotional numbness doesn't arrive dramatically. It creeps in. The laughter fades. Music loses its warmth. Food tastes like texture. And joy? It becomes memory. I stopped calling friends, not because I didn't care, but because I didn't want to explain the quiet inside me. I declined invitations, stopped celebrating holidays, the phone rang less. Then, not at all. Science calls it emotional and social exhaustion. Loneliness is more than sadness, it's biological stress. Chronic isolation raises cortisol, weakens immunity, and accelerates cognitive decline. The body interprets disconnection as danger and reacts accordingly. My world became small. Sofa to kitchen, news to nap. I wasn't sad, I was blank. But here's what changed things. One conversation. A neighbor invited me for tea. We talked about tomatoes and the weather. Nothing profound. But when I walked back home, I felt lighter. I began reaching out again, slowly. A lunch here. A message there. I joined a reading group. I started volunteering one morning a week. And little by little, life's edges got sharper again. Emotion returns with connection. It doesn't shout, it whispers through shared glances, small talk, and belonging. If your days feel colorless, your body might not be tired, it might be disconnected. Reach, even a little. Because even small moments of connection can bring warmth back to a fading inner world. Final reflection. You don't have to wait for a crisis. The body speaks long before it breaks, and aging isn't the villain, it's the teacher. But it whispers. And if we're too distracted or dismissive, we miss the lessons. Every fatigue that lingers, every stumble, every restless night, every ache in the gut or quiet retreat from company, these aren't just getting older. They're signals, nudges, gentle alarms. I missed too many of them. Until one day, I couldn't lift the groceries. Couldn't remember the last real conversation I had. Couldn't recognize the man in the mirror not because of wrinkles, but because of how far he drifted from himself. But change doesn't require drama. It needs attention, a walk in the morning, a real meal, a phone call, a stretch, a journal, a willingness to say, I'm not okay, and to believe that getting better is still possible. Health after 70 isn't about youth. It's about presence. Encourage the courage to listen, to move, to connect, to care again. If your body's been whispering, I hope this story helps you hear it. You're not broken. You're being invited gently back to yourself. And that invitation is still open. So start today. Even the smallest changes echo for a lifetime.